Okay, so you may already know this, but I'm going to show you anyway, and you can always zoom over this. So to avoid constantly going to the store and ordering zippers of various sizes, what I did was I bought a huge whopping pile of zippers from a place that was going out of business. And what I do is I just make them the right length. And I also have pullers. So I'm just going to take off that puller. And my zipper is going to be 18 centimeters. So here on this end, I can just use this end. And then I go 18. And then I usually give it a centimeter and a half. So here's one. And then another. Doesn't have to be so perfect with the centimeter and a half because it's just basically the excess zipper. Anyway, here's 18. The 18 should be perfect because it has to go through that hole. Also, it's not that easy to sew over a metal zipper. But anyway, so here I've got them marked. And then I'm going to cut. Oh, I really shouldn't use my good scissors for this. Okay, let's grab something else. All right, so I took off the stopper on the end and then just squish it back on, but I did that before I turned the video on. And I need a lighter. So before I start doing this, I'm just going to singe the ends of the tape a little bit because sometimes sometimes the last couple of teeth will actually start to shred the zipper, like when you're pulling out the teeth. I try to make sure I always keep that in the right direction. So these ones are all going upward. Okay. And then I'm going to remove the teeth. Now, if it's a lower quality zipper, you can just grab the teeth and like yank them out of the tape. But if it's a higher quality one, sometimes you actually have to take a good strong pair of pliers and actually nip them off like so, because if otherwise you can damage the tape. It's time consuming, but I'm pretty sure it's less time consuming than going to the store in the middle of a project, which is irritating. Also, I don't really feel like paying $6 or $8 for a zipper. Well, technically my client should be paying for it, but that doesn't always happen. So then I also just do this. Just pull out one by one, grab them. I have two pairs of pliers. I have needle nose ones, but I find that needle nose ones, you can't seem to grab the tooth. There we go, that's better. Grab the tooth to pull it out as well as with the side cutters. Here, see it started to shred a little bit, no problem. Just give it a little singy poo. Then, then the other side. Anyway, I do use the needle nose pliers. I use them for clamping on the stoppers. You don't have to put stoppers on these. You can just, whip stitch each end, and that'll keep it in. Sometimes I do that. Often I'll put a stopper at the top, just because I think like eventually that thread may break and then you might be pulling the zipper straight off of the tape. Yeah, see this one shredded a little bit. So just to show you, now I have my puller and I put my puller on in the end. And what I do is I angle them slightly because that's the track of the zipper pull. And then I just kind of jiggle it a little bit. Oh, I think one of these might be upside down. Yep. There we go. Yeah. There we go. This should do it. There we go. Nice and smooth. Okay, so once I've got that zipped up, then a lot of times what I'll do for a pocket is I'll open it up and just push it on there so it's in the middle. Now the tape has a tendency to bubble out where the zipper is, and the reason that I do this is because then I get a nice closed tight end on the end of each zipper. But when I'm doing the application, I may have to move the zipper up and down to make sure that I have all the tape straight. And all right, so I'm going to put a pair of stoppers at the top. Where's my needle nose? Here. So this is, I use the needle nose for this one. So I just take it in there, and then I squeeze it on there, make sure it's well squeezed so it doesn't pop off. So in this case, when I'm doing it like that, I take needle and thread, and I just do a little whip stitch. I mean, in theory, I could do this on the machine, but I'm sitting here at the table. Needle and thread are right within reach. All right, so there's one. So let's just take this guy, move those out of the way. And now we go and put the welts on it. Okay, so I was finding that the pocket welts are a little on the thick side. So I was going to use my bell skiver, but it wasn't cooperating. So here, I'm just going to use my hand skiver, skive it down a little, reduce some of the thickness. Now, I don't know if I'm doing this right because I just bought this tool on Amazon and tried to figure it out. I know one thing, that blade, you've got to change it all the time. And it's pretty sharp too, so I wouldn't stick my fingers in it. Now, when I skive it, it has a tendency to get stretched out of shape. So what I do is I usually just go over and give it a little shot of steam in the air on the back. And just kind of pat it back into shape. It should be okay now. Yeah, a little bit, but it's okay. Now, last one. Probably supposed to do it the other way around, like away from myself, but I don't know, whatever. I found it was stretching less this direction. All right, so now for these welts, I'm going to apply a little bit of glue and then fold them in half. I don't always do this, but this particular leather seems to be giving me a little more trouble. Oh, my glue's a bit dried out. It's just fun. Try to spread it quite thin, although my glue's a bit dried out, so it's kind of thick.